One of my favorite places on earth that I've ever visited, Quad Cities, between the Illinois, Iowa line. You remember when we went there?
I do, yeah. One of my favorite people is there, Janelle McClain.
Janelle McClain, fantastic.
But I don't know about favorite places. Why was it one of your favorite places?
Remember the restaurant she took us to, the sandwich shop that had the potatoes?
Is it Arthur's Deli?
Yeah, Arthur's Deli, one of my favorite places on earth.
That is a good place, and I know you especially love that place. They'll get you those baked potatoes where they fill it up with anything you want. It's huge. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Also remember that you couldn't find your way out of the parking lot there. One of my fondest memories was when we almost just stayed in the Quad Cities airport parking lot. You said, I'm serious. If we go around this thing one more time, and I'm going over the curb. Well, I don't think this Lincoln was built for that.
He's not lying. I was trapped in this parking lot.
Done.
There was no exit to it. Turns out there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You believe that?
You got out, didn't you?
We're here today.
Yeah. You made it.
Thank God.
Well,
I think we had to run all the operations from that parking lot right there.
Yeah, the Quad Cities Regional Airport. But because we got out and because we found our way home, it allowed us to be in this room today with a very special guest.
Yep.
Who we got with us here today?
I'm Anna Lawhon.
Okay.
I'm the Director of Clinical Quality. And
So do you work at Village Caregiving then?
I do.
Awesome, awesome. You work
Coming
up at the
up on a year.
Barbersville office?
Yeah.
Have you met Jeff? Do you know Jeff Stevens?
Of course.
I think so.
So you guys know each other.
We are buds.
Yep.
Well, Anna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
You've been frequently mentioned on the podcast in the past, different guests. Your brother Will has been on just the audio version. We got to get that handsome fella down here for a video version. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what's going on in his life. We had Adria Fox-Shills. I just listened to that podcast the other day. I don't want to get off subject here, but I had lunch with Will the other day, and I said, Will, do you remember why Adria said she came to work at this company? And it was, if you haven't listened to that podcast, go back and listen to it. It was the sweetest thing for me. She said, I wanted to come work here because I saw how happy Will was with his job. And so I went back. It had been months since Will joined the company. I went back and I asked him, I was like, are you still that happy? Because that was such a unique thing for her to say. And he lied and said that he was. But that's not why we're here today. So,
Yeah.
but no, I appreciate you coming down on the podcast. How
Thank you.
How are things going at Village Caregiving?
They're great. Yeah. I'm coming up on a year here, and we're hustling and getting things done, and they're just going well. So
Yeah. Well, how is your husband Brian doing?
He's good.
Good friend. He recently, I saw him at a 40th birthday Barbie party, and he was quite the handsome Ken.
Yes. Malibu Ken.
Malibu
Ken. Yep. Yep. I didn't have anything to do with that outfit. He did it all himself. So
Really?
I turned him loose.
He's a good guy, a funny guy. And then I feel like there's been something else that's happened in your life recently, and it wasn't a puppy. Is there something else going on in your life?
I did. I had a baby.
A baby?
A baby. Yep. She's coming up on 5 months. So
How's that going?
she's great. She's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
So, yeah.
I won't tell Brian you said that, but it is
It's
recorded.
okay.
So
It's fine.
now, how's motherhood?
She's great. It's motherhood's great. It's more than I could have ever imagined it could be, but I love it.
It's cool.
Nothing better to say about it. So
Little Claire.
Little Claire. She's kind of become a mascot around the office.
she is, yeah.
Especially during warm weather, we saw more of her. Your mom lives in the community, and she would bring Claire by. She made it to the fall festival this year.
She did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was there for Food Truck Day. That was a big day. But
You know what I really like, and being serious, is from the time that Claire was probably 2-3 weeks old, I bet. They're the kind of couple that are willing to put Claire in the stroller and just get out of the house and go out and push it around Barbersville. And I think a lot of parents, when they're in that stage, kind of think that they should just be locked into the house. And you were so the opposite way with that. And I found it really neat. So Claire is kind of like a little, you see her all the time out there with you guys, and it makes everybody happy. It's cool.
Yeah, that's my main advice to everybody is we had her and we took her to Target and she was, like you said, 2 weeks old, and it's hard, don't get me wrong, but now I think that we can go out to eat and she's not overly sensitive to different environments, and we go a bunch of places with her, and it's a lot of fun. So.
yeah, they've recently started leaving her by herself too, which is, I think, really exciting.
Yeah,
And
5 months.
Yeah, that's where she is right now. Yeah.
She's at home.
She's in the car.
In the crib, not in the car.
You took it too far.
I'm
He did.
kidding.
He
I'm
did. She's at home with my mom.
I do
It's a
remember
lifesaver.
though. I mean, you know, we joke around a lot, but I was in my office one day, which kind of overlooks Central and Main Street, the main intersection in town, and I saw you were still on maternity leave, and you had Claire, and you were out walking, and I wanted to be like, hey, hold on, real quick about compliance, and see if I could get her back into work.
I was
but
nervous walking by the office because I live about a half mile away, and I'm like, man, they're not going to think I'm doing anything. And then looking back, I'm like 2 weeks postpartum where I was just
yeah.
surviving. So, but
Well, I think it's,
I see Brian out with her all the time too. He's a good daddy that way. It's
He
not
is.
just a mommy thing. So I'll be
Yeah.
pulling back up into my parking spot and I see Brian going by pushing
Yeah.
Claire, and I always am like, "What's up, bud?"
yeah,
so we were invited to Will and Adria's wedding. We weren't invited to you and Brian's wedding, which I thought was strange. When did you guys get married?
2018.
Okay, and you came to work at Village Caregiving when?
2022.
Okay, so you really don't have a good reason to
I
not
don't,
invite
I
us.
don't.
But
Sorry.
Kind of a lack of foresight.
yeah, I thought
It
so.
really
I mean,
is.
we look for people with vision at this organization, and how in 2018 you didn't look ahead and think
Yeah.
Aaron and Jeff should be at my wedding. But I'm not
Just in case.
in
yeah,
case.
I'm not going to linger on those emotions. But we know Will and Adria's story of how they met. Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. How did you and Brian meet?
Brian and I met in middle school. He was in 7th grade and I was in 6th grade. And there was a teacher that used to always tease us about liking each other.
Wow.
And we had no idea who each other were.
Really?
My mom was our cross country coach and we had practice together every day. And we both ended up at the same high school, which it wasn't supposed to be the high school like in district. My
Okay.
parents moved there. He transferred there for running. And we ended up at homecoming together. And then
Oh wow.
the rest is history.
Now wait a minute. You said the teacher teased you about liking each other, but you two didn't know each other?
No, he just...
Well, how did the teacher
He was just being a
know this?
matchmaker.
What?
That
He
is
was
vision.
Like, he was like, they are perfect for each other. He knew Brian. I think he coached him in maybe basketball, and he knew me. And he was like, they're perfect for each other.
We need
I'd
this
never
guy
met
at
man.
this organization. Is he
Really?
Is he still around?
Yeah,
Mr. Chapman, if you're listening and you're done trying to speak vision into these children's lives, call me Mr. Chapman. We need a guy like you. Anyways, go ahead.
That's
it.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's a wild thing right
yeah.
there.
We just celebrated 11 years together. So
Wow, man, I am hitting the hard questions today.
And did you start dating as a result of his matchmaking, or did it happen?
it was years.
It helped, though.
Yeah, we were friends. And then,
Man, you ought to send that guy a Christmas
yeah,
card or
his
something.
grandpa lives right across the street from me. So we see him sometimes.
What subject? Was it Barbersville Middle School?
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. Okay.
Rest in peace.
I see what I did there. I was actually delusional enough to think maybe it was the same Mr. Chapman I knew, even though I'm like 20 years older.
Yeah,
than him.
it probably was.
It hurts. Yeah.
When she said that his grandpa lives.
It was my Mr. Chapman's son, more likely.
It's possible.
It is possible.
Probably is.
Well, cool. So you guys grew up together.
Yeah.
You end up going to homecoming, and you guys are now married, living in the Barbersville community.
Yeah.
Where you were born and raised, is that right?
Huntington.
Roughly?
Yeah,
Huntington, that's
about-
right.
Just about.
Forgetting about that. Will
Couple
corrects me
miles.
on that.
Yeah, it's a big difference around here.
Yeah.
Get ya.
Well, cool. So you guys are there now. And what is your background and what professionally, what do you do?
I'm a nurse. I worked oncology for 5 years, both inpatient and outpatient.
Okay.
And yeah, I love those people. They're a special place in my heart. But if you were to tell me when I graduated and when I was 21, this is where I would be really confused. Like foresight, I wouldn't see it. So,
What led you to nursing? I don't know the answer to this question, by the way. So
honestly, my dad worked in a hospital since before I was born, and
Okay.
I always wanted to work in the hospital. It's a cool place. You have 24/7 cafeteria, you have coffee shop, gift shop. You're taking care of people. It's like a community. So I wanted to work there. For that reason, I like to take care of people. But yeah, that's what got me here.
several of those boxes Waffle House can check as well. I don't know if you
I
realize that or
love
not.
Waffle House.
Yeah, same. That's why when I think about why I love Waffle House and why I wanted to be a nurse, they're very similar.
Yeah.
So
100%.
there's that.
You know, you ask for sponsors sometimes. They should legit sponsor this because we talk about it a lot.
For
It's a
what
great
they
place.
charge for an all-star breakfast, I don't think they could afford to sponsor us is the problem.
Well, we won't charge them much.
Okay. Waffle House, if you would just like to let us use your logo for corporate sponsorship without charging you anything, maybe just some gift cards, please reach out to me or Erica from the Cleveland office. Apparently, we're just...
If you saw the last episode,
Okay.
Erica will be fielding all calls from the entire country for at least a week or two.
Yeah.
Ooh, awesome.
We're going to actually have to deactivate that number at some point. But anyways,
Yeah.
so at what point did you realize you were going to be a nurse? Was it young in life? Did it come to you early?
No, probably high school.
Really?
Yeah. I'm high school.
What did little Anna believe she was going to be when she grew up?
Little Anna wanted to be, let's see, I wanted to be a graphic designer at one point. I wanted to be an occupational therapist.
Okay.
President. That was
Okay.
on my list.
Yeah.
Take that off. No president.
That's too, but you make a good president.
I wouldn't close the door yet. But
Maybe
continue.
mayor. We'll see.
Okay, mayor.
Just kidding. No, I'm just joking. So yeah, no, nursing didn't come to me until probably high school.
Really?
Great. So, graphic designer, occupational therapist. That's pretty
All over the place.
specific stuff, though.
Yeah, it was.
What are you just thinking about different things that you
Yeah.
enjoy, and that would be a nice thing? Occupational
Yeah.
therapy. How
I
does that
shadowed
work?
somebody who was an OT.
I
and
see.
They enjoyed it. And similar to taking care of patients, helping them meet goals, that kind of thing. So,
You ever wonder what the difference between shadowing and stalking is? I would assume
I haven't.
consent. Yeah.
What are we going to do with him?
I haven't. No. But
Okay,
yeah, consent,
yeah.
that's the
Yeah. It's a
hard line
it's a-
to
yeah, key word.
cross. Mhm.
Well, occupational therapy, graphic design. I don't know that being I don't know that graphic design was an option in 1985 when I was born. There are certain things that people say on this podcast that I don't think was even an option. I guess
What did you want to do?
I thought that I would maybe become a veterinarian. That was a pretty common thing. Yeah, probably that was probably I tell people I did not have the thing that I wanted to be, if that makes sense. Some people are like, I remember in school, there was this girl that I went to school with. She's like, I want to be a nurse. I remember from childhood, she grew up and became a nurse. I'm like, I wandered around. My guidance counselor just thought for sure I was going to be homeless. Yeah.
Veterinarian is a popular one. What kid doesn't want to be a doctor for
Yeah.
the care for the animals
Absolutely.
and stuff, right? So that kind of relates. So the one I didn't ask about those nursing, you kind of did there, but how did that
have no
passion
idea.
arise?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I just remember one day.
Nobody in your family steered you toward it. It was your own.
My grandfather was a doctor, and I didn't want the residency and career on call, that kind of stuff. So I thought maybe I could get that fulfillment here. So, because you go to work in the hospital, and then you go home and you're off. Nobody's calling you about patients.
Right.
No overnights. No going in late. So I have
How,
a good family dynamic.
So at Village Caregiving, you have a couple connections, one being Will. And I think a question that we've gotten from a lot of listeners when they knew you were coming on, they want to know, what was it like to grow up with Will Shills? I know it's something that I've often wondered.
Will and I had a blast growing up.
Yeah,
We were outside about 100% of the time.
really.
Yeah.
Parents just lock the doors or
Yeah,
what? Just, okay.
Yeah. We ended up being able to crack it with the credit card after a while, but we played outside a lot, in the woods, played on the street, lots of kickball.
What
Red
is, and
Rover.
then you have another sibling as well, Joseph,
Joseph,
right? Okay. And so the three of you guys, what's the age differences there?
Will and I are 19 months apart.
Oh, wow.
So we were 2 grades apart, and then Joseph was in kindergarten when I went to middle school. So there's a
Okay.
bigger age gap there.
Did you guys include him and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
You promise?
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
Joseph's here, and I'm
Is he?
No, I'm just kidding. But wouldn't that have been something special?
Yeah.
If he had
What's the order,
Yeah.
the ages of you three?
There's me, the oldest, then Will, he's about 2 years younger, and then Joseph's 5 years
Joseph's
younger.
the youngest one. Okay, so did you pick on your little brothers a little bit?
Are you asking me or them?
I'm asking you.
Maybe a little.
Yeah.
There was a couple years that I was a little impatient.
I was always so jealous of when I would have friends in my street that had younger siblings. I was an only child. I wanted a little brother that I could just beat up once in a while. I really did.
I'm right here.
He's right there. It's Aaron. You got him.
Can we move in together for just a little bit so you can give me a chance to relive
Yeah.
that?
Coming true.
Yeah, well, that's cool, though, that you got along so well, really. And that's not
Yeah.
hard to imagine. You have a terrific family. Your parents, who I know well, are great. And
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, so that's easy to imagine. Oh, cool. I'm jealous.
We had a good time. We had a little neighborhood gang. So
You
we
guys
just run
also
around.
one fond childhood memory tie back to Village Caregiving. Sarah Beth Hill, our
Yes.
the RN at the Columbus office,
Yes.
was a babysitter for you guys.
She was our babysitter.
Yeah, did you know that?
I remember there was a connection there. I didn't know
Yeah.
that it was a babysitter. Really.
Yeah, we went to the same church. So
Huh.
And here's a fun fact. I don't know if you know this or not, but we were a group of us from work. We went to Chick-fil-A. Now that
Ooh.
we could do something with on the sponsorship.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, we went there to the mall, and there was a lady. All right, we were ordering. It was busy. It was the lunch crowd, and there's a lady in this really cute Halloween sweater. God love her. She was so adorable, and she's helping people. They're yelling out, food for Smith, and she's like, "If you're Smith, go get your food." It's both bags. She's being very helpful, and I'm like, "We need to hire this lady." So we go sit down. She comes over. She said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. Before you guys start eating, I want to introduce myself. I'm Sarah Beth Hill's mom." I was like, I can see it now. She was so sweet. We did a selfie together. I sent it to Sarah. The lady was clearly awestruck by my celebrity status, was why she came over. But anyways, it was a really special moment. Very sweet family.
He is really on fire today, isn't he?
he is.
Right?
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of laughs in the studio.
Most of this won't make it to air. So, so that's your background. That's Village Caregiving. How did you get to Village Caregiving?
I, on a whim, also saw how great it was going for Will.
Okay.
And I emailed Mr. Jeff Stevens over here proposing a job.
I did that and he blocked me. How did you get through security?
I don't know.
They don't
I
all
did.
make them through.
No. So I emailed him one day and proposed kind of a position that I knew wasn't currently there. Did some research, and of course, we met about it and kind of worked together to find a good place, and here we are. So
It was a really good email. I'm not joking around. I remember that email. And I remember
Thank you.
actually telling somebody, maybe this is ego a little bit, but I was like, I can tell just from reading this email that she would be terrific. It
Thanks.
was very well written, vocabulary, grammar wise, but also insightful, but not like too long. Didn't use a bunch of cliches like "hello, I'm salesy" type. It was just real genuine and real, but smart. I remember this was one of the best emails I ever got.
Thank you. Yeah, I was looking around at different job opportunities, and there weren't any ones that I could see myself really fitting in, and it's a place I wanted to be. So
Yeah.
shot it out there, and here we are.
And then we met up, and I said, I'm not sure exactly what we can do, but I want to make this work.
Yeah.
And then how much longer did you say it was?
Probably a month.
Month
It
or
was
two?
this
Yeah.
time last year. So
Wow.
That's the
Yeah.
exciting part about having a growing company. Really, it really is. And this still happens to this day. There are people right now I'm having conversations with, really talented people. I don't really know where they would fit in, but something will happen. Something will
Yeah.
come open, and we'll be able to get them on the all-star team too. And it's exciting to work. You were talking about this a couple weeks ago with just younger people that are so intelligent, and you are. It reinvigorates us. It makes work a lot more fun.
I always say, young people like Anna and I bring a lot to the table.
I'm about to walk out. Would you blame me, Austin?
I'm calling Danielle.
No. Sam, is it cool if I just leave?
You can't just leave.
Can't leave me here by
Yeah,
myself.
don't leave Anna alone.
Please, I'm begging you.
So, what do you, if someone's listening and they are in the, let's say, Louisiana, Village Caregiving in Louisiana, what do you do at Village Caregiving?
That is a very broad statement. I was hired on as a Swiss Army knife
Okay.
of compliance, So at first that looked like care sheets, clinical documentation. We really wanted to get that nailed down first and foremost. So in this year we've gotten, probably tens of thousands of care sheets and do a lot of that. I do new payer source research.
Okay.
So we're working to get in different programs so different clients can be provided services. And I've dabbled in training with Danielle and Adria a little bit, just for a nurse opinion with them. Probably missing a couple of things, but just a little bit of everything in the compliance
Sure.
world. So,
well, for your first, 6 months or whatever in the company, you worked on the same floor as me at the home office, but our offices were in kind of different places, and we would kind of interact in hallway exchanges. But not a lot of the projects that we worked on crossed over very much. But recently, or the last several months, you and I have worked much closer together.
yeah.
On several big projects that's required us to interact a lot, and I've really enjoyed working with you. Much like Jeff interpreted from your email when you made initial contact, the level of professionalism is, one thing that I think all of us at Village Caregiving pride ourselves on. We do things at a very high level, and we're very efficient, but it's done right. And the first time that me and you started working on something, you're just trying it out. Like you're like, we'll see how, because I had not really worked with you on anything. And the delivery has been perfect every single time. When you say
Thank you.
something's going to be there, it's there, and it's at a high level, done right the first time with no errors. And so I've really enjoyed working with you. Again, our worlds didn't really interact that much.
No.
You and Danielle have a great friendship at work. And so I kind of got to know you through Danielle, but working with you has been a real pleasure recently. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just sharing a text on the way in here from Andy Hess where he said, I meant to include you on this text to Matt. I'm outing you here, Andy.
Uh-oh.
I hope you won't mind. I meant to include you on this text to Matt, but I was telling him that Anna is an absolute star. So impressed with your work. You deserve to hear that kind of stuff because unfortunately at work sometimes that gets said and nobody really ever tells you about it. So bravo. And I told him
Thanks.
I agree 100%. Actually, my words were, she is a badass.
Whoa, edgy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry I used the profanity there.
It's okay.
It was meant in good spirit.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Chick-fil-A, if you can't sponsor us now, we understand.
Really might be problematic.
Hey, Waffle House is still
Yeah, I know Waffle House isn't going to have a problem
I
with
love
this.
that place.
Yeah, they just doubled down.
Yeah, they did.
No, and again, on some of the projects that we work on, that's not going to be client-facing type stuff necessarily. That's not going to be the things that's in the headlines. You're not going out and opening new offices or achieving. But what you were able to do with just take care sheet compliance, right? A hope and a dream a year ago. We weren't sure how it would go. It could have been met with a lot of resistance and stuff. That was a new program. It was a heavy lift for the company. And someone that was going to take that project on and get that across the finish line, it has went unbelievably well. And now you're working on new payer source diversification and getting us in some different programs. And again, a huge lift, a ton of work, but not really done forward facing, right? Not everyone can see the time and effort that you're putting in. What is it about you, the tenacity to do that, or the drive to keep working even when the bright lights aren't on you? Has that always been your thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm all about task completion. So it doesn't matter if it's in front of people or recognized. If you give me a task and I'll get it completed and move on. So
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. It's different though. Matt was telling me one day, he said, a lot of the stuff you're doing is going to be frustrating because you're going to go to work and you're going to try to call these numbers and you're going to try to do this and you're not going to get anywhere. And that's okay. But it's just kind of revamping my style and seeing it through that's helped me get along. So
obviously when you become a nurse, there are certain boxes that checks for you, right? Like you have a reward system and nursing rewards that. When you left the bedside, you left the patient care and you come to Village Caregiving, how are you still getting those things fulfilled in your life?
I'm getting that fulfillment at home through the job. So there were two reasons why I left professionally and personally. The professional reasons were when I became a nurse at 21 and was out on the floor, there you quickly learn that the people above you and things like that, you can see their stress level, their happiness, and you're like, not sure I want to kind of climb that ladder. And so then you're like, well, I can stay here. And that didn't take a long time, and I felt a little suffocated because, I don't want to do this for 30 years, 40 years to run myself ragged. And so then personally, my goal was to be the best person I can be when I walk in the door at home. So there's nothing I could do from 8 to 5 or 7 to 7 that's more important to me than who I am in my house and who's at home. So I have a sign above my door at my house and from Mother Teresa, and it says, if you want to bring happiness to the whole world, go home and love your family. And that's what I remind myself of. And, it's very important that I'm passionate about my job, but there will never be anything more important than who I can be for Brian and Claire and any other little ones that come along. So,
it's a great answer.
I know, it's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Yeah, probably a better answer than I've ever given to anything in my life, unfortunately. So,
Well, I believe it.
I've answered a lot of questions too.
Now going back to work, if that's okay.
Yeah.
A second ago, when you were talking about how you like to check a box and move on to the next task, I think that is the way to work, really, because what I'm getting at here is, multitasking has been something that's been thrown around for 10, 20 years as a good thing, and I think more and more research reveals that it's not a good thing, and B, it's not even really possible. You can't do two things at the same time.
You can't.
I'm talking about sort of attention management here, right? So single tasking and getting into a zone with this task where you sort of even lose sense of time, you're more productive and then go to the next thing. Is that how you work generally?
Yes. And I've tried it where, I'll have an email pop up in the corner and I'm like, oh, I should look at that. And I'm like, no, it's a completely different state, different subject. Got to finish this, then move on. So
yeah, I think that's what people would advise these days.
Yeah.
There are certain activities, like if you're brushing your teeth, right? That's mostly just a motor skill thing. Like you can still read an email while you do it. But even that, you're still not really multitasking. The brain is just rapidly going back and forth between two things, and it divides the attention to the point where I think I read the other day that if you are multitasking, your actual IQ measurably drops about 10 points.
Ooh.
It's one of the reasons why texting and driving is so dangerous. It's not simply that you're looking away from the road, it's that you're literally dividing your attention, and you can't really do either one of these things effectively. So if you carry that back into your office, it makes a lot of sense to do what you're talking about, which is like knock this task out, then this one, then this one. It's not just scattered all over the place.
Yeah, if I'm trying to juggle, it doesn't go well. So I'm like, deep breath, do this one first. I'll make a list. Have lots of lists just scattered.
Yeah, you're organized though. That's kind of like, I know that about you and the materials that you send to me. It's always super well organized, and I should probably take
practice, I guess.
I know, you got to get reps at that stuff, don't you? It
does
take practice because it's so
Lots of
easy,
gym
especially
time.
with this thing laying around all the time.
Yeah.
Every time a notification goes off, you want to look at it. That's not good.
Whole thing goes out the window.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
No, I'm glad that you guys had that moment, and it was. I try, if I'm driving, I want to be texting. You know what I mean? Like that's. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Andy Hess is gonna love that.
Yeah.
You want to play a game?
Do we have a game to play?
Surprise.
Yeah.
So this is a game that Rachel picked up, my 9-year-old daughter,
Okay.
at the store the other day. It's called Priorities.
Bring it in here. I'm already winning.
Maybe some of you have seen this game. I'll give it a plug. Free advertisement here. Priorities. So it's simple as pie, right? There are tons of cards in here
Okay.
that just have something on it. This one says cheapness. Mobility scooters. Now, they're all over the map.
Yeah, I can tell.
You take this,
Okay.
All right. There you go.
and what you do is rank them number 1 from love it to 5, can't stand it.
As in priorities, or just love it to can't
Not
stand it?
priorities, just love it or like it.
Okay.
Or
All right.
don't like it.
But I can only know one at a time.
No, I'm just put all 5 of them out on
Okay,
the table. The
that's
game is that
very
we're all
kind.
on the same team, all 3 of us. Aaron and I then try to guess how you ranked them,
Okay.
and we try to get points. So let's see.
Bring it.
Gosh, if this doesn't go well, we'll cut it out.
Okay.
Don't worry. Okay, there they are. Aaron, tell us what we have.
Okay, so we have artisanal chocolate,
Artisanal chocolate. That's
Huge.
specific.
smartphones,
Okay.
selfies, a man bun,
Man bun.
taxes.
Now,
Okay.
don't
Wow.
let us see.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rachel.
You thought Rachel was your friend, didn't you?
She is my buddy. Yes.
Interesting. So there's numbers, words.
We're going to discuss, but
Yeah.
you don't listen to us. You just, as honestly as you can, rank those. Don't let us see it now. What do we think's going to be man buns, selfies,
And this
taxes?
and she's ranking this based on
Love it to hate it.
love it to hate it.
Taxes have to be. Well, you got to
Okay,
get
yeah, you
going
gotta-
because we'll
yeah.
influence
we
your
can't see
judges.
this. Yeah, yeah.
Start
I'm really
right.
put on the
Let's talk
spot.
amongst ourselves.
Okay.
Okay.
This will make for really good audio if we
yeah.
whisper over here on the side. Right.
Yep. So, I mean, Brian.
Taxes have to be last
taxes
place.
have to be last. I mean, Brian has.
Go
a-
ahead and put that. Let's start shuffling them. Taxes go last.
Okay. Well, she needs to see
I
them.
need to see. You're gonna give me a headache.
We're
She
gonna
can
now
see
whiplash.
farther than 30 inches in front of her face. Gotcha. Taxes are last.
Okay.
We've got selfies, man buns,
Okay, I know that
smartphones,
she
and
loves
chocolate.
Chocolate.
Okay, chocolate's up near the top.
Yeah, and she hates taxes.
She hates taxes.
Yeah.
Who
She's-
doesn't?
She's addicted.
Anybody
to
you
her
think
phone.
even
ever
real?
loved taxes?
Yeah.
Do you ever
she's
think anybody loves paying their?
an accountant, the government.
Okay, man buns. You got man buns. Okay, I'm sorry. So you're thinking it's chocolate, then smartphones,
selfies,
then
man
selfies,
buns, and
then
taxes.
man buns,
The only
then
thing
taxes.
we don't know if Brian at homecoming had a man bun, she fell madly in love. No one knows the
He used to
answer
have
that.
long hair. Not at homecoming, but he did. There's a good picture that
No.
won't make it here.
Oh no.
I think we bumped man buns up to 3.
Beyond selfies, you clearly don't follow her on social media. She is a selfie.
Is there a lot of selfies on there?
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely
my
not.
gosh, there are. She's given us clues.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely
that's,
not.
That's going to be
Not.
low
Oh, okay.
on the list. But smartphones.
So we were
maybe.
going chocolate, smartphones,
Yeah.
man buns, selfies, taxes.
Do you agree with what we have here?
I think we lock it in and
Okay,
roll
so
the dice.
chocolate, smartphones, man bun, selfies, taxes.
Okay, is number 1 artisanal
Oh,
chocolate?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, that's 1 for
I
1,
love
buddy.
chocolate.
Come
Got
on.
it.
Number 2,
Taxes.
smartphone,
Taxes.
Taxes aren't real.
Sorry on the microphone.
Taxes aren't real. I'm just
They
kidding.
aren't real.
I'm just joking. They're very real, but
Well, I've been fooled for a lot of years, though.
I don't.
I want my money back.
That's
Okay, so taxes isn't last.
okay.
No,
After that, though, is it smartphones next?
no.
Oh, is it man buns?
is.
Man buns.
Man
I
buns are
Like
third.
circa-
But we're still good. That was third.
Let me give. You want to give some advice to Brian? What he might want to think
Brian,
about?
listen to me. All right. I saw the way she looked at you in that Malibu Ken outfit. Throw a man bun on that.
Golden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Where do selfies fall?
Last.
Oh,
Smartphones were 4th, and then selfies were 5th.
Yeah.
we only got 2 right.
Good job. It's
Okay,
not bad.
well, yeah, it's not great.
It's not great.
my Brian's a financial planner
That's
and
true.
manages
I didn't
investments,
think
so
about
that's
that.
it's our livelihood.
Their finances.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. You guys prey on people like me that pay all the taxes, and you use
100%.
it to trick me.
How'd
the
you
tax
know?
code gets more complicated every year.
That's what I'm working on upstairs.
and the
all
more
time.
complicated it gets, the happier you are.
That's all I do at work all day long. How do you know?
What'd you think of that?
I thought it went really well.
How
I
would
said-
you have ranked those 5?
Those weren't a really good a batch.
They weren't a good batch?
No.
You want to do one more?
Yeah,
real
let's do
quick?
one
Okay,
more.
okay.
Clean your dry erase board.
We'll be quick. Okay.
Okay, so
How would you have done them?
So
though,
the
real quick?
letters on
Those
the
are
back
really
don't
hard.
mean anything. Though.
Well, you have to try to. You're playing against the game itself, and so you spell the word priority. So the ones we got right, we would have got the letters. The one we missed, the game gets the letters.
So that's a game of absurd choices. So
Slippers,
oh no!
puppies,
Oh, God, she loves puppies.
snuggling,
With puppies.
world peace. God, this is
God.
like all the best stuff. In
now I
God. Okay.
All right.
Well, you got some decisions to make now, Anna Lawhon.
She has Mother Teresa over her
I do.
door.
I have Mother Teresa at my front door.
I mean, if you don't have God number one, you're playing a dangerous game.
I'm putting it God anyways because I'm not getting on his list.
I'm not either. Here we are.
Let's just assume that's one.
Yeah.
That's one.
Okay.
Just throw them out. Just throw them out.
Well,
There's a lot. World peace, puppies, snuggling.
God, now here's the problem.
This is actually no joke. This is when the game gets hard because
Yeah.
you need some that are obviously like really
Yeah.
good and some that are obviously awful.
Right.
Like we thought taxes might be.
Yeah. That seemed like a sure bet.
You're going God one,
Yeah.
world peace
Yeah,
two.
this one's going to be a tough one because I
You're
know.
putting slippers last.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're down between puppies and snuggling.
right now. Yeah, and I'm open to changing these, but here's where my mind is.
Why
on
are
this,
you
okay?
talking so quietly?
Because she's over there, and I don't want to influence it.
You don't think she can hear
Listening.
that?
I'm
I
very much
don't
listening.
know.
I'm
Okay.
multitasking.
So far you think she's blind and deaf is what
Yeah.
I learned. Okay.
If I find out she's mute, this podcast is over.
We can't lose all three. We'll get down to taste and smell. We'll cook some bacon and see if that arouses you.
You know, my son hit me with this question last night. He said, "Dad, does the taste buds smell too?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, they make a water. If you just drink the water, it just tastes like water. But if you push the thing at the top of it, it gives out a smell, and it convinces you that it tastes like watermelon." He's like, "Then how would that work?"
Smell and taste are closely
Yeah,
related.
and I was like,
You
"Buddy, don't
hold your
ask that. I'm
nose.
trying to
You
watch
can't
football."
taste.
Okay, so here's what we
right.
know about her. Okay, she loves snuggling with Claire.
You're whispering again.
Yes.
You do realize this is an audio podcast.
It's for dramatic effect.
Oh, okay.
and
Austin,
then,
good luck working the sound on this.
yeah, you kept asking Sarah questions on the last podcast, and she's not even mic'd up.
You're right.
But puppies, I've seen her interact with her mom's dog, and she loves dogs.
She does love puppies.
Okay, we need to make a decision.
But snuggling could be an insult to Brian, you know, and she doesn't want to go down that road.
I'm tired of trying to guard myself against how this will play out with Brian. Okay,
You gotta.
do you agree with these two?
I think they have to be because world peace. I mean, look, you might like a puppy, but how could you choose that over world peace?
Especially
That's
in
pretty
today's
selfish.
climate. So if we flip that board, you better change it.
I say we go
I'm locked in,
snuggling, then puppies,
Okay, and
then slippers. God, world peace, snuggling, puppies, slippers.
That's how Mother Teresa
5
would
for
have ranked
5.
it.
We
Five
got all
for
five. Come on.
God, we're the best.
You don't play priorities against
Not
us.
with
No.
us. It took us 2 rounds to perfect this game.
I did.
And we'll never
Golden.
play it again.
Never play this game again.
Hey, look at that.
That was
That's
really
pretty
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really
Alright.
good.
See, was my logic kind of spot on there?
It was.
Do you like slippers though?
No.
Okay, so
I'm
Don't
here's
care
the
about
thing.
indifferent. Yeah.
It's
I
kind of
don't
like
hate 'em.
robes. If you're into it, you're into it. Like Danielle loves a good pair of house slippers.
I like slippers.
Well, no
That's
one's
not a
shocked.
shock, though,
No,
is it?
no one's shocked by that.
I just thought I'd go ahead and beat you to the joke. All right.
Anna-
Well, hey, that was fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was fun.
I like
Good
that.
game. Good
In
good
fact,
job,
Rachel.
Rachel.
Let's keep playing this after we
right.
wrap up.
Okay, I gotta erase my
Well,
board.
cool. Well, Anna, thank you so much for coming down.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything that you do at Village Caregiving to make all of our lives easier. And thanks for tolerating me. I know that oftentimes I get to the point with you where you're just you say things like, "All right, I've had enough.
Never.
I'm leaving.
Never.
Quit calling me." Stuff like that I hear,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand why you say it. But no, all jokes aside, I do appreciate everything that you do at Village Caregiving. We are
you.
super fortunate to have you, and look forward to all the things that we conquer in 24.
Amen.
Happy to be
Lucky
here.
Lucky
Yeah.
to have
Ready.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, we got to touch. It's bad luck. Come on. All right.